Hello guys, I'm EireKHAOTIX, a role-playing gamer, and welcome back to episode 7 of Tea and Scones with EireKHAOTIX. Joining me this week is my good friend Ben. Eric can't be with us because he's unfortunately doing college exams, so nobody can really blame him for not being on. And starting us off this week,
Ooh.
Ben will talk to us about a game along the lines of L.A. Noire called The Whore of the Orient.
Alright guys, how's it going? There has been a game in the pipelines now for I'd say about a year or so, ever since LA Noire came out. So Tim, you played LA Noire yourself?
I have played it, but not extensively. I played maybe 4 or 5 hours of it. I did the first maybe 2-3 cases in the traffic, and I don't know, I couldn't get into it. I got stuck on a particular case, and I don't know, it just kind of killed it for me. Its pacing felt a bit off to me personally. It was a bit
Yeah,
too slow paced
it's
for me.
it's certainly a very niche game. I wouldn't
Yeah.
expect many people to gravitate towards it, but I really felt that niche subject of old noir style film and crime games haven't really been plentiful recently, in the past few years, so.
Yeah. Not really
I
ever,
think a
I
lot of
don't
people
think.
gravitated to it, especially with the Rockstar things, nah,
I
I
don't think
don't
there's
think I
been.
could name, I think I could name a lot of some crime games, really, in general, to be honest. Um, yeah, a lot of people would have gravitated towards it, because just the weight to Grand Theft Auto 5, and they wanted something by Rockstar, really.
Yeah, I don't know. There hasn't really been any kind of not so much old school, but crime relating to the say 70s, at
Yeah,
all.
when it was all,
Because GTA
tweed
has always
suits
been
and
about
fedoras.
a take on the modern era or whatever. I don't even consider
Yeah,
GTA a crime
definitely.
game. I don't know what I consider it.
Oh no, that's a sandbox adventure, maybe? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
really... Is it an adventure game? I don't...
No, no, it's not an adventure. I'd say I'd even
Yeah,
consider
it's not
GTA
an adventure.
5 like at the very stretch of the term an RPG. Because the way your characters improve themselves. Like if you run a
It's...
lot, your athletics
Yeah.
gets better, stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know. I
Uh,
don't
I
really.
remember... Touching on the athletics thing, actually, I remembered in San Andreas, I've been playing it on 360 a lot, and one mechanic in it was you could literally push yourself to throwing up and getting fat. And I really miss the comical aspects of the old GTAs. It's not so much in it in 4 and 5. Writing wise, it's hilarious, but I don't think there's enough cartoonish gameplay, humor. I don't really see it.
That's what Saints Row is for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Captain's, even Saints Row is just beyond ridiculous at this stage.
Oh, I love Saints Row though. I've got a soft spot in my heart for all the Saints Row games.
I'm gonna be honest, I've played up to Saints Row 2, I haven't touched the 3rd or 4.
Oh,
Based on the
Saints Row
trailers
3
alone, I just thought
is
that was
so
ridiculous.
funny. I remember I've done a few videos of Saints Row 3 with Eric, and it was my first time playing the game, and I started playing it co-op with Eric, and I've never laughed so it's been rare that I've laughed that hard. I haven't laughed that hard since. It's just I don't know why, but it's your first time playing that is so funny, man.
Nice
It's
one.
so
I'm not
crazy, but the
looking
game
for that.
embraces the crazy,
Yeah, I mean, it accepts itself for what it is,
yeah.
But anyway, getting back to LA Noire, I fucking went off the rails now.
Yeah.
Over the past year, there has been talk of a new game by Team Bondi, um, which is labelled The Whore of the Orient. Now that already got shot down. Like, there's no way they were going to be able to, try and sell their game to these companies like who are actually going to fund them, because when Team Bandai were let go by Rockstar, they had nothing, like, and they've been basically just going to company like with this half a game, and like there's about 4 minutes of gameplay maybe on YouTube at the moment.
No.
Now from what I've seen, like, it looks fairly decent. Thinking of LA Noire, but it's just modern Hong Kong, but like it's
Oh, it's based in Hong Kong. Oh.
yeah. I suppose it's going to be, something like Sleeping Dogs, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. Like, there's a lot of games getting stuck in the pipeline, like, and just not coming out the other side.
Yeah. When was it announced?
Oh, I think it was late 2012. Or, no, sorry, late 2013. I think. Now, it's literally been maybe 2 videos max on YouTube of any sort of gameplay, like, and even those videos have been short. So I wouldn't expect to get much information on it, like. But it's still something I'm constantly looking out for, because I'm just in love with the whole detective style game, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. I'd say I'd probably like LA Noire if I got into it again. If I tried to play it again, I'd probably enjoy it. I just didn't really have, like, cause it's like I don't know. I just didn't have the patience for it when I first tried it.
When you start it, it's very, like, the traffic cases are very tutorial-ish.
Yeah.
Your hand is basically being held through the cases, I thought. But once you move on to Homicide and Arson and Vice, I thought the Vice questline in LA Noire was one of the best things I've ever played in my life.
What's Voice? Is that the drug related ones?
Yeah. Vice is drugs. Arson, obviously,
Is obviously
bonfires,
arson,
etc. Yeah, and Homicide, obviously, dead people. But
Homicide is just straight out murder, like.
yeah, straight out. It's but every like quest line is somewhat based upon an actual crime that has been committed in the past.
Yeah.
With different things kind of just niching back to the actual story. For example, like the Black Dahlia case in the late 40s, which was it was basically a bunch of women being mutilated. It was like a modern Jack the Ripper. But that murder is done very well in the game. I think if you gave it a bit of time and you tried to get through it, if you get past traffic, you really love it.
Yeah, I think I didn't quite fancy, the idea of working traffic cases. I didn't think there was there's not as much potential for kind of story and emotional moments there, like, cause like, if you're investigating a homicide and you're looking at this, like, as in the Dahlia murders or whatever, mutilated women, that'd make you hate the dude who's doing it, like. It would kind of get you a bit connected more rather than this person crashed their car, ooh.
And every partner you're with on every desk, they're called desks basically throughout the game, like the arson desk, the voice desk.
I remember that.
The homicide
remember
desk.
It from the main menu. It has a kind of that kind of animation in the main menu as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of like murky lights, and you're basically looking like...
Yeah, you're looking like at a table, at the table, yeah. I remember that.
But every one of your partners is somewhat based upon a famous detective from old TV shows. For example, did you ever see the movie Chinatown?
Chinatown. I might have at some stage.
A very old movie. In the homicide desk, your partner Finbar is based on a character in that movie. It's really fantastic the way it's done. But even on a design level, the facial animations done into that game were really cutting edge. Like,
Yeah, that was actually one of the selling points of the game.
yeah, it was fantastic. I've seen that behind the scenes video. It's about 7 or 8 cameras and all. They're real life. Every cutscene in the game is acted by an actual actor and then animated. It was very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I remember seeing behind the scenes, and there was there was the dude who plays Cole Phelps, and he was like sitting in this
Yeah, he's an
white
actor
room, and
from Mad Men, I think.
he had like cameras all around him capturing like every movement of his face
Yeah,
as he was talking.
it was unbelievable. Even when their lips like quiver and their eyes blinking, it was absolutely top of the line.
Yeah, it was very good. I don't think there hasn't really been much as good as that recently. You know, there hasn't been. I haven't seen facial
Oh,
animations in games
definitely not.
that have been on par with that in a while.
No,
I
but getting back
suppose.
to crime,
Go on.
if you want. I was just going to link back to the crime games. Just touching on that, I don't think I could name maybe 3 or 4
I
crime
can.
genre
Yeah.
games. I can't even. They're not the kind of games that come to my head, and I can just say, "Oh yeah, great crime game." It can't be done, and I think it's a genre that really has a
Should
lot of
be.
potential. Yeah,
Yeah. What I think is like, I don't think there's enough crime games where you play as the good guys. You know, that are
that's true.
serious. Like,
I agree with you.
do you remember games like True Crime, like Streets of New York and
Yes,
Streets of
fantastic
LA?
games.
Yeah, they were great games, but they weren't very serious. Like they're like you weren't even a
Yeah,
good
I
guy in those.
definitely
Like,
agree.
you kind
I
of were, but you weren't like at the same time because there's those you know you could
yeah,
be the bad
I
cop, like we plant drugs on people and arrest them and all that stuff, and I don't know, it was just I don't know. I thought about those games. They were
no,
2-bit. They're I don't know. They were just
yeah.
weird. I wouldn't consider them actual police games. Like
I have I have a slight bone to pick with Rockstar at the moment, and I'm kind of dreading it for their next title. That's going to be like, my guess is they're going to have 2 more games to the next Grand Theft Auto. Considering there was just LA Noire and Red Dead Redemption in between Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5.
they could have released 1 or 2 more, but not that I can think of off the top of my head. Nothing
I
that got
can't
good
think of
press
either.
anyway. I don't remember them releasing
What is
anything else.
your, yeah, I don't think so. How do you feel about games like killing the main protagonist?
It depends on how it's
For
done.
example, both. Let's just take LA Noire into cases we're
Yeah,
recently talking about it.
for
That
okay,
honestly,
lads, this game came out a couple of years ago. If you don't know what happens at the end, you know it's been out for a few years, so we're not really spoiling anything. It's
yeah,
Cole Phelps.
no,
He drowns to death, doesn't he, in the sewer? He gets hit by
yeah,
the torrent, the rainwaters, which I think is stupid. I hate that
yeah.
ending
It's
so
coming through
much.
the tunnels, and there's just, oh
He has
my
so much
god,
time to get out, and he's
there's
just like,
just this last
goodbye,
moment in the
dead.
cutscene.
It's like, God damn
I
it.
know.
I hate that.
He's just standing there
Yeah.
staring at the 2 other characters
They're like, come on, Cole.
with this like, desperate face, and then just, I know, and he just stands there. Wow. And then of course John Marston. Well, to
John
be fair,
Marston's was done all,
John
just done
Marston
really
went
well.
out like a fucking badass.
Yeah, he went out like a man.
Yeah, he went out like a fucking
Like an
badass.
absolute ledge.
Jesus. Not like getting gunned down by about 12 lads.
Yeah. You know, I saw a video once where the dude in the video, I'm not sure if he had a hacker engine installed, but he managed to kill all except one of the dudes at the end. You know, when he walks out of the barn, there's like 20 dudes out there. He killed all of them except one.
Yeah.
I think there's like a special pistol you can get that has like loads of ammo in it
Oh
or
wow.
something. I don't know. I can't remember. Could have been a hack as well.
You can't, and obviously you can't
You can't
I
actually survive that. You
don't know.
literally, you physically
There
can't.
definitely isn't any way to survive that. Yeah. No.
You probably can, but it'd probably break the game. Or John you'd probably kill all of
What do
them,
you
then Marston
think
would just die
about...
anyway.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. Like, literally, even if you did manage to kill them, it would still just up to him, though, like, regardless. Because, you know, you can't, like, make an outcome when there isn't the content for that to happen, do you know what I mean? It's just going
Yeah.
to bug out, like. But, there has been some murmurs of
New Red
Red
Dead.
Dead Revolution with the rumour title. Yeah.
I've heard that
No, I
there's just
haven't
going to be
heard
one
much
called
about it,
Red
like, but
Dead
it's...
2. That's what I heard. It's just going to be
Oh,
Red Dead
no.
2 or something. See, it's going to be kind
I
of weird
really
because you
hope
play as
not.
John
I like the
Marston in,
title.
as far as I remember, you play as John Marston in every Red Dead game. There was what? Red Dead Revolver, and Red Dead Redemption.
Do you play as John Marston in Red Dead Revolver?
I'm pretty sure you do. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Red Dead Revolver is his gang before they break up.
And Redemption. Was Revolver not the first one, or was there one before Revolver?
I thought there was a Red Dead and then Red Dead Revolver. I could be wrong though.
Oh, I thought
Oh, I can't
Revolver was
remember.
the first game. I'm not sure. But yeah, what do you think of a new Red Dead? Would you play that?
Yeah, I definitely play it, but I'm not sure if there's potential for a strong story there because, you know, John Marston is dead after all. Like, you know, I don't know. They'd have to have a really
Yeah.
good replacement
I don't know. It's kind of...
because essentially it's going to be compared to is he better than John
Yeah.
Marston or is she better
I'm
than
kind
John
of
Marston?
worried.
Unless it's a prequel. If it's a prequel,
Exactly.
then I'm all for it.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, the prequel walked away, but like I don't think they're going to be able to, you know, trump John Marston. I don't think that'll happen. Everyone's just going to be like, oh
Gonna
yeah,
be
the
like,
Red Redemption with a worse John Marston,
yeah.
pretty much like. So be the fucking, you know, the milky back kid, like. But yeah, it's definitely something I'm going to keep my eye out for.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll all hear about it when it does
So
becomes a thing. Oh damn it!
definitely.
Okay.
What conventions are coming up soon, actually?
What? What? What's coming up soon?
What fucking yeah.
Oh,
But in regards to like expos and
I have no idea
stuff
to
like
be
that, I have
honest.
no idea. Like when is E3 this year?
E3
I
is
have no,
probably
like
going to be
E3
around
is normally
June.
around during the summer, is it?
Yeah, I think so. It depends.
June.
It had E3. I say
I
E3
suppose
be. I
they're
think is E3 in August maybe.
yeah,
I think it's in August.
at the end of summer. I think if we're going to hear anything about the new Red Dead, it's more than likely going to be there.
Yeah.
So did you have anything you want to talk about?
Yeah. The game I've been super hyped for all the time is Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, and they had a 40-minute
Mountain
live
Blade.
stream of it at the PC Gamer conference there last weekend, and I've watched about four
Very
different.
nice.
They did a public stream. Well, not a stream. They did like a public showcase where they showed about 20-30 people. All the like just some gameplay footage, and they were talking about it. But man, after watching that, like, and I
Now,
watched a private stream, and holy
yeah.
crap, that game looks awesome. I just want it to be like out like right now.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a very like. I'm very incoherent when it comes to RPGs. I couldn't tell you what's a good or bad RPG,
Depends.
but I know I like them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know a lot about them, so I don't really know what Mountain Blade is going to be.
Yeah, well, you know, like I don't think any one person can really say what a good and a bad like RPG is, because some people say Final Fantasy, like maybe Final Fantasy X is the best RPG ever, which
Yeah.
most people probably wouldn't say, but and other people might say that the Final
Yeah.
Fantasy games, yeah,
You're the only one saying that, I think.
yeah, I don't think I don't think it's the best game ever. I don't even think it's the best Final Fantasy. I don't even like Final Fantasy, so like I don't like the Final Fantasy games. But you know that doesn't make them bad RPGs. Like I
I
don't like
enjoy
them.
it. Yeah.
You know, it's like there's definitely bad
I've
RPGs,
enjoyed
but
the
that's
two
RPGs that games that are just
Final
made
Fantasy
badly.
games.
Like you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Final Fantasy, actually, I've only played Final Fantasy titles ever. And one of them was the Crisis Core for PSP.
Apparently that was really good though.
And it was fantastic. I didn't think
Like I know the story in
it was.
Crisis
It
Core
actually was
was.
really good.
I
And
like the story
considering
in that.
excuse me, PSP games, PSP games can be very dodgy at best, especially towards the end of the PSP cycle.
Yeah, I don't think.
Like I stuck with PSP like since the 3000. It was my main console. Like
Yeah, I never had one, so I can't really speak for those.
it was at the time. It was pretty revolutionary. It was a handheld, you know, game console that runs discs. Like that was so. It was so bizarre, but so great at the same time. I don't know how else to describe it. Like
Yeah.
I remember the first game I ever got for PSP was actually Crisis Core, and it was, you know, story-wise it was fantastic. But I found when it was like the cutscenes like scaled down to PSP were very scratchy. The frame rate was,
Yeah,
you
those
know,
games didn't have
barely
like
cutting it at best. Like
much like processing power anyway though.
no,
You know,
not
they
at
had
all.
very
I also was. Do you ever remember the Chocobo Tales?
the what?
The Chocobo Tales. I think it's based on somehow from the Final Fantasy universe. It was basically you play this like little chicken, and you're around in like this kind of spirit world, and you're this kind of chicken. Now
I
I played this for like 3 hours when I was like 14.
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Fuck it. That game is pretty much buried. Anyway, Jesus, that game is pretty much gone.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it until just now, so
I think it was on DS as well as PSP.
could have
It
been.
was decent enough actually.
Yeah, speaking of kind of obscure kind of oldish games, well, I'm not sure if it's an old game, but I got a Cthulhu. Well, I didn't get it. I've had it for a while. I played for the first time Cthulhu Saves the World. Um, there the other day, and it's
Right.
essentially it's where Cthulhu comes back, and then a mage steals his powers, and you have to become a good dude to get your powers back. And I actually no, I actually really like I really liked it actually. It was a surprisingly good game. You know, it's one of these top-down kind of 8-bit RPGs, and like it's a really short
Right,
game. It's like
right.
one of those you know RPGs. We get random encounters, and it's turn-based and stuff.
Yeah,
And it has this weird
yeah.
mechanic where after each turn, all the enemy like the enemies get stronger as the battle progresses, which is really weird. So you have to like win the battle really fast.
That's
Like it's kind of
that's
annoying
really
because that game,
so.
because the random encounters sometimes throws like four dudes at you, and like
Yeah.
those four guys can kill your whole party in one turn. Like especially, and then if you don't,
How
and then
do?
they get more powerful as the battle goes on gradually. Like, so it's weird. But I did really enjoy it. Its writing is
It was.
awesome, and its soundtrack, man. Oh my god, its soundtrack is good. Its soundtrack is
I find
just
it, yeah.
brilliant.
For some reason, I don't know what it is with me, but I find it very hard to fully immerse myself
In an
in a
8-bit
game
game.
that's in an 8-bit game. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I can't help shake the feeling it's somewhat arcadish, and I can't really, suspend my disbelief
Yeah.
and just get into the game. Like,
I think it really does depend on how good its soundtrack is, and how good, how gripping its text is, because a lot of 8-bit RPGs are very heavily text, like they rely a lot on text, and if you don't
yeah,
want to read the text, you know, it's not going to be, like, that's why I loved, I haven't played much of Daggerfall, but Arena, like, you could go into, you could go into, like, libraries, and you could just read about the lore of the world. You know,
that's
you
fantastic.
could talk to people
I
about all
love
the
how that's
different.
done in Elder Scrolls games.
You could talk to, like, different people about the different guilds around, and, like, there was all these,
Yeah,
just like in Arena and Daggerfall, there is way more guilds than in the other games. Like, there isn't the Fighters Guild. There's, like, the Iron Warriors. There's the Dragon Slayers. You know, there's a good 20, 30
yeah,
guilds in Arena. But because they're not like the Fighters Guild, the Assassins Guild, you know, they all have these cool creative names.
yeah.
Some people will tell you that these guys are evil. Other people will tell you that the same guys are, like, good good and fighting for justice and all that stuff. And then you can go to, like, a library, and you can just pick out a random book. You could just look through all the books, and you
And read
actually
about.
read about all these different, like, guilds and stuff, and it was really awesome.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of new
Speaking of,
RPGs focus a lot on, like, I think The Witcher 3 did its lore good, but the way it presented the lore I didn't like. Like, you know the way in, like, Skyrim, it's got, like, an animated, like, book, and you turn the pages and kind of stuff like that.
yes, yeah.
In The
I
Witcher
put,
3,
yeah.
it's just like a
Right.
black window with text on it. You know, there isn't, like, an
Oh
immersive UI
no.
there, and, like, the lore is really interesting, but I don't like reading it because of the it's just an
Yeah.
ugly kind of interface. Like, don't get me wrong, the game
Yeah.
is absolutely
It,
brilliant. It's a 10 out of
oh,
10
it's
RPG.
gorgeous
Like,
game. Beautiful game.
yeah, it's just, and its gameplay is phenomenal. It's one of the best games ever made. And
Yeah.
but there's a few small things that just get me, you know.
That's very true.
It is an
I totally
extremely
agree with you.
immersive.
When,
It is an extremely immersive
like,
game, though.
when they cut corners like that.
Yeah,
I haven't even played it yet. Unfortunately, I don't have the funds to go next gen or PC, so it's certainly something I want to play in the next year anyway.
yeah. Oh man, that
But
game will take a
getting
solid
back
amount of
to
time.
it's a good, what, 80, 90 hours, like.
Even more. I've played more than that.
But getting back to guilds, actually,
Yeah.
and Elder Scrolls games in general, um, I always thought that the guilds were done really well in those games. But then, like, when you got to Oblivion, for some reason, they just weren't arsed with the Thieves Guild in any way, shape or form.
I
It
think
was
in
literally
Oblivion they
just
weren't
one
arsed
man with
about
a
most of it.
torch.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
everyone knows
remember
that I
for
don't
the
like
Thieves
Oblivion.
Guild, like, it was... Oh, stop. Shut up.
Yeah.
You can't win them all, like.
Yeah.
But I remember for the Thieves Guild, it was literally one man outside the Imperial City with a torch, just fucking selling lockpicks and sending you on your way. Like, I was just,
Yeah,
fuck.
I remember, I'm not sure if it was a mod I had installed,
It was just pure laziness.
but the on the anniversary edition of Oblivion that I have on PC, the Thieves Guild doesn't work in my game, and it never has. And I can't, unless I'm just, unless I can't remember how to trigger it. But I tried going to the water district and talking to the dude, and just the quest line
Yeah.
just never triggered for me. Not that I listen out much.
Nah,
Yeah.
you're missing out on a solid, half an hour there of content. Like,
Yeah, half an hour of utter just meh.
oh, I mean, come on, like even the voice actors changed during
Yeah,
dialogue.
mid-sentence. Coin for an old war
Oh
veteran.
God.
Why, thank you. Man,
Why, thank you, sir.
that game
Of course.
makes
Oh
me
my God.
angry. That game makes me mad.
It was the kind of thing like after Morrowind, I just kind of had to deal with it because
Yeah.
I wanted more Elder Scrolls content, but at the same time I had nowhere else to go.
Yeah, I
I
get
pretty
you.
much just had to, fucking bite the bullet, like. But yeah, I think back it was one lazy game. Groundbreaking for its time, but lazy.
What Oblivion was?
I definitely think so, man.
Why are you hovering?
I mean,
Yeah.
there is a case for it, like regardless of, its shortcomings, like.
Yeah, there is, I suppose.
When was that game released? Was that game released in like 2005?
No, it was maybe
Later than that,
2006.
was it?
User
2000.
joined your channel.
How are you doing, lads? Hello. Dara, I'm in the
Who's
middle
there?
of my
man.
Dara, I'm in the middle of my podcast, and your voice is insanely loud.
Welcome aboard!
No, he's getting muted.
Bye.
User disconnected from your channel.
Oh, boys.
I don't know why I had his voice turned up, but I had his voice turned up, and that was really, really loud. That hurt.
Yeah, all I heard was just the muffles. I'm like, whoa, wait! It's not that we don't want him here, it's just he's interrupted.
Yeah, he's interrupted.
But, fuck, where were we? Oh yeah, 2007 Oblivion.
Yeah, something like that.
Shit but great, and great but shit.
Pretty much.
It's greatly shit and it's shitly great.
Well, I just consider it just terrible, but...
So, well, I'll just, if you want to chat about it, we can chat about it.
Yeah.
But, what's your predictions for the next Elder Scrolls?
For the next Elder
Location-wise, etc. Yeah.
I'd say they might go to maybe the Red Guards place.
Hammer? No, it's not Hammerfell.
Yeah, it is Hammerfell.
Hammerfell, yeah. Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd enjoy that. I definitely don't want to, what the fucking... Where were the Argonians from again?
Black
I
Marsh.
can't remember. Yeah, I cannot ever imagine an Elder Scrolls game set in Black Marsh. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how they do the landscape, to be honest.
Exactly. I don't like. Unless it was the only way I think an Elder Scroll games would work in the Black Marshes if it was linear and you had to be Argonian and you had to do certain things, and I just don't think could work as a very open.
I don't think an Elder Scrolls game would be
Oh, I
good
know
if it
that.
was linear. None of the previous ones have been good
Uh,
that have been linear.
I think it has enough lore or potential for a linear game, but
Like unless
I
you
don't.
play this
I
one or
think
like those named
the whole
characters from
recipe for
Elder Scrolls
success with
history
Elder Scrolls.
is its freedom.
Yeah, yeah, that was a recipe for its success. Like, but yeah, I mean, even was it Ysgramor was the Nord hero?
Isn't he the dude that had
Was it Ysgramor?
don't you have to get that helmet in Skyrim for what's it for the
It's
Stormcloaks? You have to get his crown.
his helmet.
You have to
Yeah.
get his crown for a mission.
Oh no, no. You get the well
I'm
unless
pretty sure it's his crown.
Ysgramor's helmet was the jagged crown. I know you
Yeah,
have to
isn't
get the
it's like
jagged
the
crown, all right.
yeah, is that not the crown of
It's the
Ysgramor
one
though?
where it's a bunch of dragon's teeth. Like
Yeah.
I don't think so. I thought his helmet has like kind of like little wings at the side, like kind of like a cartoonish fucking like
Viking or something, yeah.
Viking or something. Yeah.
I I don't
Like
know.
Thor or something, I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think the Jagged Crown was Ysgramor's.
I don't know. That's what I
But
remember it
I
being
do remember
in.
that being part of a quest.
Unless no, I'm thinking of
But,
Woltrod. Was that his?
but
No, Woltrod is the
Ultra,
the
yeah,
Brotherhood.
Ultra is the staff, isn't it? Or no?
The axe.
Is it? Uh, oh yeah. Was Ultra not Ysgramor's axe?
You get it as a part of the I think so.
Jesus. Okay, and
To
let's not
Google.
turn this into the Skyrim cast, like.
I'm playing Dark Souls 2 really badly right now.
But I'm playing a bit of Terraria. Can't complain.
Nice.
Good at mindless gaming. Like, what are your go-to games when you don't really want to, use your brain and you just kind of want to just relax, like, and just do something kind of, I don't know, relaxing even.
My go-to game for pretty much everything is Mountain Blade. Because I know that game so well that I don't have to think. I don't have to think when I'm playing it at all. Because I literally know the ins and outs of every single aspect of that game. And plus, because I'm insanely
What's the
good at it,
saying?
so I don't need to worry about, having to think.
My game for that was Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, I was going to
I
play
don't
that
know, I
while
played
doing the
that game.
podcast, actually. But
I played that game
it's
so
against it.
much I could literally walk through it with my eyes closed. Like,
Yeah.
believe it or not, I haven't even touched Fallout 4.
Yeah, I'm not too pushed about Fallout 4, to be honest.
I have no, like, there's nothing pulling me towards it.
Yeah, it's Fallout 3
Nothing at
Next Gen
all. Like,
Edition,
so
and
I
I
just,
didn't particularly like Fallout 3.
yeah.
There was too many.
Fallout 3 was
It
alright.
had a really good idea,
It was too
but
grey for me.
there was too many problems with it for me to actually accept it as a good game. Because I look at I'm not either. I look at a game's problems because
Yeah.
I'm starting reviews at some point,
Like
and
the amount of
it's like
times
I look at a game and I'm like, okay,
was,
this game's full of bugs, and the bugs kind of break some aspects of the game, and it's like its
yeah,
palette as well as color palette isn't very good. Its map is tiny.
no.
It wasn't very interesting. There was a lot of things that I just didn't find interesting in it.
I thought the game was, like, pretty bland in
Yeah,
every sense of the word,
it
to be
was,
honest.
yeah, I don't, it's not memorable at all. It's not memorable. And if,
No.
for me, for a game to be good, if I'm, like, what I class the greatest games are games that, like, if I stop playing it and I'm still thinking about it, then I'm like, yeah, holy crap, that's a good game.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh my god. Like another issue I
So,
don't like, I hate in games, just to talk about
recently,
for about 3 seconds, is clipping issues. God
oh
damn it, Dark
my
Souls
god.
2. Enemies can stab through each other. It's a pain in the ass. In fairness, I'm playing terribly though because I'm
I
talking.
remember when I first, well, I remember when I first got Fallout New Vegas. I played for about, I'd say a good 7 hours straight through on the first day I got it, and I remember after that got stuck between a chair and like a lamp table, and I couldn't move, and my game auto-saved to a part where even if I died, I'd respawn back in the place where I was stuck, and my save was just literally fucked in all sense of the word, like.
Yeah. That actually happened to my cousin in Far Cry
And
2.
then after that, I was like,
There was a bit in Far Cry 2. It wasn't like a story mission. It was just
I
he got
didn't
into a
touch the
random
game for
fight.
months.
I actually loved Far Cry 2, but he um he got into just a random fight with some dudes, right? And whatever way he blew up a truck as it was driving at him, it did this really cool flip, and he was like diving to the right, but the truck flipped to the right as well, and it just lands on him and kills him, and it brings him back to a load screen. And he'd auto-saved mid-dive, so there's nothing he can do about it. When he loads his save, he just dies instantly. And then it tells him to load again, but that's the only save he has.
One of the good things about RPGs I find is that you literally, like some RPGs that I have, I literally have about 60 or 70 save files, like.
Yeah. You
I
start like a
just
new
save
game
every,
when you come
like,
back to it because you forget about all the stuff that happens. I do that with...
exactly,
I don't do
exactly.
it... I don't do it anymore, but I used to do it a lot.
I just used to forget, like, I'd get out of the frame of mind of the game, and like my opinions, like that were formed while playing the game, and that might convince me to do different stuff in the game, I would have forgotten.
Yeah.
So, like, my opinions on characters and stuff, I just forget. So, I just have to start again because I have no idea what's going on. Like,
I'm doing some really stupid stuff in Dark Souls because I'm not paying
well,
attention. I probably shouldn't be playing this on the podcast.
fucking Dark Souls 2 was just too hard for me.
Is
And I'm
it
a grown man, and that game was just too hard for me. Like,
too hard for you? You haven't
it
played the first.
actually
The
was just
first
too
one is
hard for
harder.
me.
I blazed through Dark Souls 2. I was so good at the first game that I
I,
absolutely blazed through Dark Souls 2. I finished it in one sitting. The
I,
day I bought it. Because it
I
was
was
just...
honestly
I
getting
didn't
my
get
ass
stuck like at
handed
all.
to me.
No, I do really enjoy Dark Souls 2. Like, I've put 74 hours into it on Steam. I've put maybe 3 times that in when I had my Xbox because I pre-ordered it. Go back to all reliable.
Yeah, that
Bit of
game
Mountain
just,
Blade.
yup. Oh yeah, Dark Souls 2 just handed my ass to me on a plate for about a good 4 hours, and then I just sold it back to the shop. I just wasn't having it.
Yeah, it's game over.
I was just, yeah, I just wasn't good enough. Simple as.
You weren't up to scratch.
Oh shit.
Oh, I'm so tired.
So do you prefer voice acted dialogue or text in RPGs?
RPGs, voice acted. I think we're,
Yeah,
I
have
think,
to be.
I think we're like long past the day of like silent protagonists. You know, like I hate games that do that now.
I just, okay, I don't know. I
It's
honestly
like
just don't know anymore. Like when it comes to RPGs, I find it very hard to
Because like people talk like I know it's not an RPG, but Metro does it, where Artyom only talks when he narrates you on the loading screens. But there's people talking to him in the game as you're playing, and it just sounds stupid because they're having these really one-sided conversations. And I don't know. I think like they do in Dragon Age Inquisition, but it should be done to a bigger extent. Where in Dragon Age Inquisition you can pick your voice. I think you have a choice between two different voices, like a kind of deep one and a kind of higher pitched one. I think if they did that on a bigger scale, it'd be awesome.
Wasn't that Dragon Age 2 as well? Big voice.
Yeah, you could do it for Hawk.
Yeah. I haven't actually played Inquisition yet. I've only just played Origins and 2.
Inquisition is one of my favourite games of all time. I love it so much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And content-wise, is it a long game, or is it...
Oh man, it took me a very long time to finish that. It took me a very long time to finish
that. And I'll probably get that game pretty cheap now, actually.
Yeah, I played through it. You can get it for like 20 quid.
So.
Get it for like 20 quid, yeah.
I'll have to pick that up soon.
Yeah, I played through it on PC, and I didn't play through any of the expansions because I don't have them. But man, that game was good. That game was yeah, it was too good, like it really was.
I think every Dragon Age game was pretty good.
Yeah, I like all of it.
2 wasn't as good.
2 was the worst. If you compare 2 to the other Dragon Age games,
but it's still
bad.
Great, like.
But it's still a very good. I still really like because the writing in 2 is still good. Like Dragon Age's writing is just amazing, and the writing in 2 is as I think the third game's writing is just the best. The third game's writing just beats the other 2 games hands down.
Yeah.
And it's its immersion factor. It's oh man, I could talk about the third game all night, but I don't know. I don't know. The Dragon Age series will always be. It's not my go-to RPG series because it's kind of some people don't really like the gameplay, but damn, are those games some of my favorite RPGs ever because they're just so memorable. Oh yeah, I've turned off the sound. Mountain Blade, yeah.
I'd love to. Have you played through every storyline in Origins, like with every race?
Yeah. I've cleared Origins so many times.
And this one.
They don't really change your game that much.
I remember actually,
like they all kind of change. They all kind of change a certain aspect of how, like you know the way you have to get the mages, the Dalish, the humans because you have to do Denerim and Redcliffe, and you have to get like the dwarves.
Yeah.
Pretty much your race and your origin story changes one of those. Like if you start off as a human mage, yeah, it's you get the kind of the slightly different dialogue because you're a human. Because when you're talking to elves, if you're not an elf, you don't get your dialogue changes because of racism and stuff. And if you're a mage, when you're taking over the mage's tower, you can use like your mage dialogue to. And you could be like to some of the people like, oh, I'm a mage as well, I'm not a threat to you whatsoever, but then the Templars won't really like you as much. It differs. Like I think the most the most vibrant one is if you're a dwarf, if you do the noble storyline, you're kind of more personally connected to the whole Orzammar part of the game, because Prince Balin is your brother if you start off as dwarf noble. Other than that, though, there isn't really many. I think they could have done a bit better with those actually, because if you play as the human and you're if you're a human like warrior or a rogue, like the only human thing that changes is if you're a mage. But if you're a human and you're automatically a human noble, your brother apparently fought in Ostagar. And I'm like, I think they could have done way more with that, because I can't if they did do something with it, I can't remember. But as far as I know, they didn't really do anything. They just like, there's never any bit of the game where you're like, oh, I miss my brother's dead, you know?
Yeah, I remember when I first played Origins, I started with a human, and beknownst to me, I made my character look exactly like Duncan.
Oh, really?
So yeah, like literally hair, beard, everything was spot on, exactly like him. So when it got to the cutscene of Duncan dying, I thought my character already died like half an hour into the game, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, I hate this game.
Yeah, I was
That,
like, the fuck's going on here? Like,
yeah. Oh man, that's that's pretty
I,
funny
I,
actually.
I, I literally, I fucking bloopered, but yeah, I still enjoyed, I enjoyed Origins a lot, fucking lot. What
Yeah.
annoyed me about 2 was pretty obvious, the fact that you're literally within the confines of one city and you get to go to like one Danish camp.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
you know,
3
like,
man,
don't get me
3 is a
wrong.
proper like open world. Like there's loading screens
I
between
still
all
need
the
to
areas,
back
but
into
each
that.
area is an open world
That's
unto
fine,
itself.
that's
Like
fine.
each area is huge and full. I 100%ed one area, and I say I 100%ed it. I didn't. There was one hidden treasure that I couldn't find because the map to find it. It's like, you know, the map shows you a picture of like a bit of terrain, and you have to figure out where it is. That one map was just impossible to read, but I did everything in the first area, the hinterlands. And that's like one of 12 huge areas, and that's the only area I 100% is, because they're so big and there's so much stuff to do that I just couldn't possibly, like, I knew I couldn't do it, so I didn't try.
Couldn't do
Like
it.
I knew there was no way I was gonna be able to.
Yeah.
But man, that like
Oh
that's
yeah,
it's side quests.
yeah, I'm
Everything
gonna
is
have
just
to take that off.
so well written. Yeah, man, it's amazing. It really is. It's a masterpiece of a game. Just
When I
so
look back at
yeah,
it, I really should have just bought it off you
yeah.
when you had it. I just wasn't thinking. I was like, ah, fuck it. But I really should have got it. But
Yeah, man, that game is so good.
yeah,
I spent a
those games are
massive
fucking
amount
amazing.
of time
That's
towards the
Bannerlord.
end of last year playing through it on. I played through it as a human mage, and it took me a solid 100 hours. And I didn't do all the side quests. When I'm usually spending a lot of time playing through an RPG, I try and do everything that matters. Like there's collectibles, you know, you want to collect all the special coins, or you know, like I
Yeah,
don't usually do that crap because it doesn't really have meaning in the game. It's there purely for an achievement. But if it's lore based stuff, I usually do it. And
might as well.
I
You
usually
know,
do all
especially if it's
the
handy.
side quests. I usually do all of them. But that game has so much content that I physically couldn't do it all without going insane. And it has some of the
The
best
only
character
game that I ever
interaction.
like. Yeah.
Like seriously, there's some moments that I still remember from that game that are just like there's this one bit. I'm not sure. I think it happens if you get all of your party to 100% with you. Uh, it's
Right.
essentially where you and all your companions and all the side characters, all essentially you and all of your friends are sitting around the table playing like poker and drinking and just telling stories. And the night like progresses on, and like you
That's
can, and
fantastic.
there's
I
some
completely
great
understand
character
that.
building bits in it, because you're sitting there and you're playing with them, and like it doesn't go through the whole night. It kind of skips like a few hours later and everyone's drunk and stuff. But like Varric is telling a story, and you know you get like it like the
Yeah.
game fades in at like the punchline and everyone starts laughing, and then um everyone they're kind of talking. I think Varric turns to him, and it's like, what about you? What about you, Inquisitor? What do do you have any stories? And you can be like, no, I prefer if you told one. Or you could be like, no, nothing's really interesting. Or you can literally say, yeah, I have a story, and then your character starts telling a story about like his time, because if I was a mage, so he was like talking about his time in the tower, and then it cuts to the punchline, and he's like at the end, and it's like, and then my name was written in the book and sealed away forever, and they're like, holy crap, and everyone's laughing. They're all like, that was crazy. And then at the end, and then you like everyone loses to like your diplomat because she's like really smart, and then it's like Cullen, because Cullen's the main character in it. He's a side character in both the previous games. He's a Templar, and he's like, damn it, what's her name? God damn it, I can't remember her name. But he's like, damn it anyway, and he's like, I'll actually beat you, and he's like, one more game, and it's like, everyone's like, oh, I want to watch this, and you can be like, deal me in, and at the end of it, he's like, I bet you, or anything that I'll be able to beat you, and then it kind of fades to black again, and it fades back into Cullen naked in his chair, and everyone's like laughing at him. And then your one is kind of sitting there smug because she won, and he just looks at Varric, and he's like, don't say a word. And and then everyone like goes off to bed then, and he just sprints out of the room covering himself. It's so funny. Like it's scenes like that just,
No,
they absolutely
is Varric?
strengthen all of the, like, it's just, I really felt a proper connection to all the characters from that one scene, and there's so many other scenes in it that are like, another one is like where when you kill your first dragon, if you talk to the Iron Bull in the tavern, you and him get drunk and are talking about all the crazy stuff that you did trying to kill the dragon. Like it's awesome. And what the best thing is that, like, that thing where you play poker, you don't have to do that. Varric asks you, do you want to go? And you can just be like, no. But you miss that stuff, like, you know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Really is something special, that game, man.
Is Varric plot integral to Inquisition?
To Inquisition, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, Varric, you know, do you
No,
remember Red
because I know that I
Lyrium?
killed
Varric is
him
kind
in
of,
two.
you killed him?
Yeah, I killed Varric in, or sorry, I'm wrong. I didn't kill Varric.
I don't
Excuse
think
me.
you can kill Varric.
I was thinking of
His brother?
fuck, who's the other mage companion in two who had justice in him?
Sanders? Or Anders?
Yeah,
Anders.
that's Anders.
Anders.
That's
Sanders.
who I killed, sorry.
Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. Yeah, me out a party bucket with some justice.
Yeah.
But
With a side of justice.
yeah. Yeah, I'll take a 3-piece box with a side of justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
To go. To go, please.
Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. Yeah. So, excuse me, not Varric.
Yeah.
Anders.
Sanders. Sanders, I can't actually, I don't even think he appears in Dragon Age
Sanders.
Inquisition. I'm not, he's...
Alright.
I imported my save from Dragon Age 2. I can't remember if I killed him or not, because it's been so long since I finished Dragon Age 2.
Yeah.
You can either banish him, because you remember, you know, he blows up the Chantry, which essentially is the reason Dragon Age 3 happens, because the mages and the Templars are murdering each other, and there's this big world war going on in Dragon Age 3, and you're in the middle of it. So you can either kill him, or you can banish him, or you can forgive him and he leaves of his own accord, I think. I can't remember. But I'm either, I can't remember what I think I might have killed him, because he didn't show up in Dragon Age 3 for me at all. Not that I remember anyway.
Do you remember the Isabella character from Dragon Age 2?
Which?
Isabella. What's her name, Isabella?
Yeah, Isabella, the pirate one,
lady.
yeah.
Yeah, what happened with her in your game?
I never encountered her in my Dragon Age 2 campaign. Never saw her once in my whole campaign, yeah.
Wow. That's very interesting. That's another kind of thing I like about Dragon Age. You're not forced to do anything.
Yeah, I never even saw
Yeah.
her in my campaign. I finished the whole game. Like, I heard about her stealing the book or whatever, but
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't.
the whole reason the Kunari are there, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard about her doing that, but I never saw her in the whole game at all.
Yeah, I remember when you have to go in and out of the Kunari camp. Every time you had Isabella in her party, like just before you walk into the gate, she'd be like, "Oh, I have to see a man about a dog," and just leave.
Yeah,
And then she wouldn't rejoin your party until you walked out of the Kunari camp. So in my own mind, I was always wondering what her deal was with the
yeah.
Kunari, and I didn't realize up to the point where you realize that the book was like,
That she's the
was it like
reason.
yeah, she's the whole reason they're there. Yeah, those games are fantastic.
I love those games so much. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I never encountered her at all in my campaign. Um, who did I get instead? I can't even remember. I got. Is it? It's not. It's not Reardon. Is it Reardon? He's one of the.
Oh,
You find him in the deep
uh,
roads. He's a Grey Warden. I remember because from Dragon Age Awakening, you can make him a Grey Warden because essentially, right, if you play as a human noble, you know the way your whole family gets killed at the start.
yeah,
Yeah. Essentially, the people who kill your family are like a rival house, and they're working with Logain, and that's why they kill you. That's why they try and
yes,
kill everybody. And in uh, Dragon Age, I'm not sure if it happens in in Dragon Age Origins, you can. I'm pretty sure yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm almost certain that you can hunt down and kill the people who kill your family in it. But the dude who killed your family, his son is in Dragon Age Awakening, and when you get the, because you own your own castle in Dragon Age Awakening, because it's like a Grey Warden stronghold, and you're the commander of the Grey Wardens at that point. And it's the same character from Origins, because you can import your character. But so when you first, the castle's
yeah,
infested with
Reardon
dark.
definitely rings a bell.
Yeah, your castle's infested with darkspawn. So when you clear it out and you look in the jail, I'm pretty sure he's just locked in the jail or something like that, or you capture him and throw him in the
Yeah,
jail.
yeah, that's right, that's right. You go down to find uh, Logain, essentially Logain's right-hand man. I can't remember his name now off the top of my head. But you go down
Yeah.
to the dungeons and you distract one of the guards, and I remember, he pulls him like into the cell and knocks him out. Doesn't he have like a very soft like French accent or something?
Um, I can't remember, but the dude is you can, when you capture him, you can either sentence him to death. You can just leave him in jail, I think, or you can make him become a Grey Warden. And if you make him become a Grey Warden, that's how he like dedicates his life to like being a Grey Warden or whatever. And he you can encounter him then in Dragon Age 2 when you go to the Deep Roads. He's
But
there fighting
who
Darkspawn.
was the warden who was in prison?
What? Oh, in Dragon Age Awakening, that's
You know the
Anders.
warden that you find?
That's Anders. He's not a warden at
No,
that point.
no,
You can make him.
no. Who was the dude who?
That's Riordan, the guy I'm talking about. And he jumps onto the
Yeah, the
dragon
guy
and
you
falls
talked
to
to
his death.
before you go.
He cuts its wing and then he falls to his death.
Yes,
Yeah, that's that's.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
I'm not
yes.
sure if it's pronounced
Okay,
Riordan or
man,
Reardon. They pronounce it weirdly in the game. I think it's Riordan that they call him. I remember him. Yeah, he was cool.
he was pretty cool. Dude. Pretty much nearly every character was fantastic. I've never
There isn't a boring
encountered a
character in it.
weak.
Yeah.
No, there's not one weak
If anything, the
character in
weakest
any
character in
Dragon
Dragon
Age
Age
game,
is
I think.
Isabella. That's
Oh,
what I'd say
she's
anyway.
yeah, I agree with you.
I just didn't.
Well,
From what I've seen of her character, I don't really like her character.
she's
she's
very she's pretty vulgar character in general. To be honest.
she's the stereotypical pirate character. Like,
Yeah, but she was a whore. Like she was renowned for being like a bit easy.
Yeah.
Like every time she was talking to another character in your party, she would like make it like an innuendo or a sexual pun
Yeah, yeah.
or something like that along those lines. Like, and it was even the other who's your other female companion in two who becomes
Meryl.
yeah, Meryl. No, not Meryl.
Aveline.
The warrior, female warrior. Yeah, Aveline is always like, giving Isabella shit when she's in your party.
Yeah, it's because I don't
She's
like
like, "Oh,
Isabella.
off with another man, are you?" and stuff. I don't like Aveline, to be honest.
Aveline
I
kind
don't
of...
know. I just didn't.
I don't like I don't... Her character doesn't... Like, you don't interact with her that much in the
No.
story. Like, once she becomes the captain of the guard, like, story-wise, you don't really interact with her. She's just... You can just still bring her in your party just to be there. She's a really useful party member, though. I literally almost exclusively brought her
Oh,
and
she's
Meryl.
fantastic. She's a
Her,
great warrior.
yeah, her and Meryl were almost exclusively who I brought with me all the time. Her, Meryl, and Varric.
I can't remember if do you have to have your party full?
No, but oh, my horse died. But if you don't have your party full, if you don't have your party full, you're pretty much doomed to die always.
Yeah, that's. I remember. I've never. Have you ever actually used tactics in Dragon Age? I don't think I ever have.
I have because
I always
PC,
used to just slash
PC,
and
PC,
slash pretty
PC,
much.
and playing through the games on the harder
Yeah, I suppose.
difficulties. I played through Dragon Age Origins on... I tried to play through it on Nightmare. I got about 4 or 5 hours in, then I just couldn't. The game was just too hard, so I went back down to like the second hardest difficulty, and I started just playing on from there, and I finished the game then on hard. I finished Dragon Age Inquisition on hard as well, which was a pain in the ass because some of those bosses are difficult.
To be fair, the actual the actual console mechanics for fighting in the game are actually fantastic.
Yeah, I never had a problem with his controls.
Not as
Yeah,
good as PC.
like a lot of people.
I've played it on PC.
Yeah, I heard
Fine.
a lot of people say that Dragon Age Inquisition's PC controls are terrible, and I've never found them to be bad on PC. But then again, I've been playing PC for a very long time at this stage, so pretty much every game's controls feel somewhat familiar. Still to this day, the only game that I will actually say has bad PC controls is Dark Souls 1.
Never played it. It'll probably
Anything that
hand my ass to me like two.
whenever the block button is right shift, you know you've done something wrong. Like,
God.
but yeah, I
wonder how I'm.
Go on.
Go on.
No,
I was just gonna say. I wonder how I'm going to deal with the switch over from console to PC when I eventually do, controls wise.
Well, if you don't like it, you can just plug in an Xbox control into your PC anyway, so... Or a PlayStation control.
That's very true. I suppose.
Yeah, but anyway, that's we're gonna end it here. We've exhausted everything we're gonna talk about. We've talked about we've talked about Eleanor. We've talked about Rockstar games. We mentioned a bit about Mountain Blade 2, Bannerlord, and then we just talked about video games. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tea and Scones, guys. Next week's episode, Eric will be back with us, and maybe Ben if he wants to, and maybe somebody else, and we will actually be live streaming as well as recording next week's episode. So if you like the video, guys, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you didn't like the video, hit the dislike button. That's what they're there for. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I'm EireKHAOTIX. I will see you all later.